Welcome to the Wing Podcast. I'm Chris.
And I'm Rachel.
And we're going to have Howard Wallach, the top dog of Chicago, on with us today. Before I do the intro, we've got a few things that Rachel's going to mention.
Sure. Just a reminder, guys, we are here unedited, uncut, asking all the stupid questions that you're afraid to ask. So if you have a stupid question that you'd like to ask, this month we're talking about customer service, feel free to message us. We will ask your stupid question. I've got a whole list of them here. We are also ready to read your reviews out loud on the podcast. So if you could leave us a review, whatever star rating you want to give us, we would totally, we're going to read it on air. And in exchange for your awesome feedback, we're going to send you an autographed copy of the Profit First book. So
One lucky winner.
Da, 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 da. So, if you guys could leave us a review, we'd appreciate it. But without any further ado.
All right, I'm here to introduce Chicago's top dog, seasoned multi-op, well-rounded MC, travel, DJ, educator, and encourager. We got Howard Wallach here.
Hello there from Chicago.
Hey, thanks for joining us.
Happy to be connected.
Cool. I'm excited to talk to you, actually. I know nothing about DJing, but obviously, like any industry, it goes way beyond just the technical skills and to people skills, which is customer service. So
We encounter clients and families months, sometimes years in advance. You know, they're planning this very special occasion. They are crossing T's and dotting I's, and they want the best possible experience. They want to get the best bang for the buck. And they don't want to be embarrassed the day of when they're hosting everyone they know at their special event. So I take that seriously. I think it's an absolute privilege to accept that call, and hopefully I'm a good match for their needs and can be a great solution to their pains and aches.
yeah, absolutely. And so now can you explain to like everyone listening, kind of like who your like client base is or like age range? Like what are you dealing with here?
So I started A to Z Entertainment in 1987, humbly as a DJ company offering, you know, sound and lights and all the related labor and trucking. I would show up at the event and provide music and wild out with the guests. As all small companies evolve, you learn all the different ways to satisfy people. And I really pride myself on being a hospitality professional, a special event producer at this point. So it's not uncommon between companies looking for AV solutions or brides looking for music for their ceremony or their cocktail hour and their reception, but all different kinds of events, small and large in scope. I try whenever possible to be their solution. If I don't have the answer, I try to be a connector. I try to be resourceful. Often just by asking really good questions, I can win them over, earn their trust, and ultimately repeat business.
That's awesome. Yeah, for sure. That's totally what it's about too.
Did you ask how old the people are that call us?
Yeah, like so I don't know. I feel like all of us in our like niches that we have, no matter what kind of an entrepreneur you are, you typically have like an age group, and it's I'd say it's pretty. I don't know. I think everybody could kind of say like, oh, I typically work with people who are 25 to 45. But your job isn't like that. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, the lion's share of people are actively online.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're using social media, they're using Google.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're in a world where everybody wants instant answers, right? So
Yeah.
Everything from Amazon to, it's just that's the way of the world. So if I were to make a broad stroke, I would say most of my clients are under 60.
Okay.
Brides are going to be mostly under 30. But for example, mitzvah parents, when they're planning their child's mitzvah, they'll often call me when their kid is about 10 or 11, proactively concerned with the event that's going to happen when their child is in 7th grade or around 13. Those parents are usually early 40s. Mm-hmm. But then when you've got clients that are in the corporate arena and you've got committees of 20-somethings planning, their client activation or meeting or fundraiser or picnic, committees can be all ages. Mm-hmm. And it's nice to see them working together and how all the different ages try to solve the very same problem. It could be something as easy as, where do I get a tent? Or how long do we hire a face painter for? Or where do I get a photo booth? Sometimes I'm in the position of being the answer man. Mm-hmm. When they call for music, I can say, well, where are you getting electricity? Where is your power coming from? Oh, we didn't think about that. Would you like me to secure a generator? These kinds of solves often happen just from that engagement. I often will ask the client where they are in the planning process. Have they done this kind of thing before? If it's a bride, no, they often, this is their first time. And you have to have tremendous empathy and realize sometimes they don't know what to ask.
Yep, that makes sense. Now, so you really do great at bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs. Do you consider these like 13-year-old, I'm going to call them kids because I'm getting older now. Do you consider them your client, or how do you work with like those different expectations?
I will tell you that as long as I have been in that arena, booking bar and bat mitzvah parties, it is often the child that closes the deal. I may impress the parents with quick return a phone call, great paperwork, give them comfort level. But if the kid doesn't think you're cool, if the kid doesn't trust you, ain't going to happen. Mm-hmm. So at a typical face-to-face appointment, I often address 75 or 80% of my dialogue with the kid. Now, I don't have everything in common with them, but I'm very confident in my ability to rock their world and make their party excellent. So I do try to find common denominators. I do try to push their buttons, and I do try to empower them so they feel like they're going to get the event that they so wish for. This kid is going to Hebrew school. Sometimes it's 3-4 times a week, and they're enriched in this. Here's your culture. Here's this new foreign language. You're going to learn how to lead a Sabbath ceremony. It's a whole deal. They're getting ready for. They are usually a year out given a tutor, and they're led down this path where they're going to be in front of everybody they know in a very intimidating, nail-biting circumstance. And this celebration is the culmination, right, of all of that education and this ultimate bar or bat mitzvah ceremony. So by the time they see me at the country club or at the hotel or at the fun restaurant, they have earned this awesome encounter. They get to have everybody they know celebrating. There's food, there's dancing, there's all this hoopla. And I want them to know, I got you. I've got your back. We're going to play your favorite songs. We're going to make your friends happy. People will walk away. That was a wow experience.
Right.
I love that. Well, and right. I mean, how do you, I have so many questions. How do you be cool? How do you be cool to like a 13 or 12-year-old kid? But you don't actually have to answer that. I'm just, future thinking for when my kids get older. Maybe
do you know what TikTok is?
No.
Do you know what Snapchat is?
Yeah.
All right, you're almost ready to handle the bar mitzvah world.
Okay, cool. Got it. I will brush up on my social media.
I think being active in social media is a big help because you really get a sensibility about what's trending. Mm-hmm. Many of these kids today are exposed to an awful lot. These children often come from affluent families where going on vacation, going to Alaska, going to Hawaii is normal. Mm-hmm. It's not exceptional. Going to Disney World is part of their upbringing. It's not a once in a lifetime thing. By 13, they may have gone 3 or 4 times.
Sure.
I have to put that in context, right? They're not buying music. Their music experience is being streamed anytime, anyhow they want. Mm-hmm. And so when a song like Old Town Road hits, you don't say to a kid, I've already played that, I'm not playing it again. At a bar mitzvah right now, that might get played 3 times.
Right.
There's no ego. There's no judging. You can't, because if you don't do those things, you're not cool. You're more of a turn off than a turn on. Our goal is to, for those couple of hours, maximize participation. Mm-hmm. So we use songs. Thank goodness for songs like that come out, because now it becomes a weapon. It's a tool that I can use. And if I know they love it, why wouldn't I play it again? You're going to tell a 12 or 13-year-old that's very rarely been told no, you can't hear that song.
Yeah.
So we know that, I think Chris will agree, that navigating through a live event has peaks and valleys. And when you know there's ways to push their buttons, you use that to your advantage.
Right.
Huh. You've totally blown my mind.
At schools, I'll play the same song.
Don't get me started.
Man.
Schools work the same way. I'll play Old Town Road once every hour of the event. I mean, we'll play it 2 or 3, 4 times maybe. It's what they want.
There are plenty of DJs that the way they program an event is this kind of old school tempo driven programming where their entire program is mixed and it goes by beat per minute. Mm-hmm. They start 95 to 105, they move to 110. It's just not true with special events. It's not nightclubs. Mm-hmm. People aren't lingering. You've got people on and off that dance floor. You're hitting different demographics. Chris will agree that a simple voiceover segue is the difference maker. Going from Michael Bublé to Rihanna is just, it's a segue away. We're selling the music by being enthusiastic voices, right? We're being a master of ceremony. In addition to being a DJ, you're creating the vibe. You're moving the adrenaline accordingly. And it's through songs and creative voiceovers.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that'd be a hard mix to go from Michael Bublé to something by Rihanna.
I have no issues bouncing from tempo or genre, because when it boils down to it, in the world of customer service, we are the ultimate pleasers. You kill a dance floor, it's immediate. You've screwed up.
Right.
So to avoid that, they're telling you, this is what I like. This is what I want to hear. Why wouldn't we, as customer service and pleasing hospitality providers, not, if someone says, I want a root beer, you don't hand them an Orange Crush.
You give them a root beer.
Right.
And you give them as much root beer as they can handle.
I love it. That's awesome.
So since we're talking about customer service and being pleasing the customer, how would you handle if you had a disgruntled customer?
Or do you just give them more root beer?
Every now and then, we do encounter, actual issues. There are genuine problems, and sometimes they're unreasonable customers. Mm-hmm. It happens. I mean, if you've been in business long enough, it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. If anybody you talk to says they don't have angry customers, they haven't been in business a long time. I think it's obvious that you want to apologize gracefully and promptly. Mm-hmm. Being personal, being direct, being honest is always the best policy. I really pride myself on being honorable, and You want to find a solution. I think that sometimes the simplest, just listening to their concerns, right? Repeating them back to them, and having empathy and relating to them. I too think that sucks. That is awful. That is a stressor. And you really try your best. You know, you can't make everybody happy, but you can really, if you can connect with them and relate to them, sometimes it's smiling over the phone. They can hear your smile, right? I think the key is just to give good energy and be honorable. And sometimes you might have to give money back. Often, I think a better solution is to encourage them to engage you and say, let me shine for you. The next time we get a chance to work together, I will really do you right. And that may come in the form of extra things, longer time, more of your services. You might have to suck it up on round 2, which I would rather do than give up on round 1.
Right.
You know, I don't want to admit defeat as much as I would like to say, I really, really apologize. I feel bad and I would love the opportunity to do you right. Let's do this. The next time you call me, I'm going to really roll up my sleeves.
I like that. I love that because, and I have so much respect for you saying that too, because businesses oftentimes are so quick to just say, oh, I'm sorry you're upset. Here's like 10% back. And that doesn't always fix the situation. Sometimes that makes it worse because the customer still doesn't feel like they've been heard. So taking that time to say, you know what? Hey, this mitzvah didn't really work out to what you expected. Maybe that was unrealistic.
Sometimes it's a very small thing. It could be saying someone's name wrong on a microphone.
Oh, boy.
You know, it's not Stephen, it's Stefan. So I think for your listeners, when you hear these kinds of things and people are angry, you want to set aside your feelings, right? And don't act like it's not your fault. Don't act like your client has made a mistake or that you're being the recipient of unfair criticism. Instead, you know, you've been in shoes where you've been upset. You know, think about how you were resolved. I mean, take Starbucks. I go back to these drinks, don't I?
Yep.
You said no sugar and they gave you extra sugar.
Right.
Well, the first thing they do is they right the wrong. They own it immediately. I mean, what are you going to do if they don't? How about when you drop a drink 3 feet from the counter? They don't make you buy another one.
Right. Right.
They look, I got you is the MO.
Well, absolutely. And that goes back from what you said before, is just own it. Like, you know, things happen and this is what we're going to do, make it right immediately without arguing with you about it. I mean, there's plenty of times, you know, Starbucks could be like, oh, well, you were an idiot. You dropped your drink. But while that is valid, it doesn't help my situation at all.
I know when we make a faux pas, an error, something happens live, and you've been told this, I think if you can be honest and own it, and then you explain to your client, like every step you're going to take to fix the problem, and you're earnest about it. You know, I'm going to discuss this with my team. I'll address this at our next all staff meeting. I genuinely want to avoid this happening again. And hey, I so appreciate you bringing this to my attention.
Absolutely.
You know, you say to your client, this is a learning experience for me too. I'm really grateful that we had this chance to talk about it. How about the first time someone burnt their hands on coffee at McDonald's? Now you can't get a cup of coffee without that paper sleeve. You learn, you evolve.
Right.
And that's really the key for all of us in customer service. None of us have all the answers. Look, I've been doing this 32 years and I feel like every weekend I'm learning something new, especially about customer service. This is an evolution. You know what? When you have all the answers, you're done.
Exactly, right? Time to move on.
I don't know anybody who's got all the answers.
Me neither.
So speaking of that, if we were to ask you what the answer to customer service is, how would you define customer service? I mean, we could all Google it, and Webster will give us that. But in your opinion,
my own take is this is something you have to want to do. You shouldn't be in customer service if it's something you don't need. If you're dreading it, or it's because you have to be in it, you're in the wrong game. This requires what I tell my people is to be advocates. Advocate for your clients. I'm in the live event business. Special events are what we do. Things are unfolding organically. It might be cleaning a spill off the floor. It might be changing room lighting. Whatever it takes to advocate for your client, that's a big part of customer service. And of course, you heard me say it before, having tremendous empathy. As a rule of thumb, I think everybody deserves excellent communication. I called a painter this week asking for a bid for an interior quote. They took 4 days to get back to me.
What?
So they were already off the table. I said, thank you. I've already gotten it solved. You know, if you're taking a long time to get back to anybody, it's not just business. It's in your personal life too. It's disrespectful. Everybody deserves earnest communication.
And don't you find most businesses lose clientele either from like lack of follow-up or, I think it's just being rude and not even responding.
They certainly can. You know, on the other hand, maybe you really want what they have and they're holding the cards.
Sure.
You know, are we talking goods? Are we talking services? Or you really, in my case, they want a particular MC. And so they're going to be a little bit more flexible, right?
Sure.
A little bit more latitude. But in general, I think if they feel disrespected, just like you, if you felt disrespected, do you want to spend your money that way?
No.
I mean, you're getting into the politics of business. Like, why do people shop local versus Amazon or Walmart? It's an attitude. You spend money what makes you feel good about spending money.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's obviously I've got the Amazon app on my phone. But there's a local shoe store in the mall here in Appleton that I love to go to because the sales reps are so knowledgeable and are amazing. And I will, spend all of my money there on shoes because...
And needless to say, when you're loyal, you're treated a whole different way.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Chris, you buy gear.
Oh, yeah.
Do you try to buy it from the same one or two spots?
If it is honestly, like microphones, I want to consult a microphone expert, and because of their knowledge they gave me, I'm going to buy from them. I'm not going to go over to Amazon or something. But like if I'm buying a cable or if I'm buying something, some of that stuff I'll buy at cheap price. But when I want something that I need to depend on and I need the knowledge from somebody, definitely I'll go local. Madison, I've bought from Full Compass in Madison. They do everything there. Obviously, we've all bought from Ben Stowe over at NLFX because the knowledge that he helps out with everybody else. I have no problem spending more money, and frankly, he's not cheaper, or he's not necessarily the cheapest around, but he's not more expensive. He's right in that. He's right in there. I mean, he'll compete with Amazon. He doesn't care. It's Ben Stowe.
You've nailed it. The experience, your takeaway, makes you loyal. You feel that beyond price, the way you were handled and treated is a worthy experience. It's good to spend money with them because of how you feel. It's always a trick. Everybody wants to save the most money possible. Everybody does. No one wants to overspend ever. But there are occasions where it's appropriate in the context of how you were made to feel. I don't want to feel bad giving anybody hard-earned money, and neither do our clients.
And that's totally true too, because I would rather spend more money to get a direct answer and a honest answer than I would to kind of be thrown around or left to my own. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
I love it. So, well, I guess we kind of just talked about that. So what is your, what's the one like customer service thing that you do with your clients or for your clients that you think is the most important?
I mean, really, my personality, I'm kind of a high energy guy.
I love it.
I do like to give them the gift in doing business with me is me.
Yes.
They're getting my energy.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting my compassion.
Mm-hmm.
And I really pride myself on that. I'm not offering way different things than anybody else in my market, but they're not me. They're not doing it the way that I'm doing it.
Exactly. And you can't put a price tag on that either, because somebody could have the same like mix that you do, but you're not going to be there. And that's what sells it, right?
Yeah, I view all of my clients with the highest regard, that I'm walking into the relationship saying, I want this to be a repeat client. I want this to be a referral client.
Mm-hmm.
Every good experience should turn into more. One good event begets many more. And it's not just the attendees of the event, but it's the client talking about it online, talking about it in their social circles. They may not need a wedding DJ tomorrow, but when talked about in a positive light, I feel like I'm really going to be top of mind.
Yep. And that's worth more than any money that you can throw into marketing, because you're getting that word of mouth loyal customer.
Well, if you look at the event as your marketing,
mm-hmm.
I have dabbled in every kind of print media. I've sponsored baseball team. I've tried everything. I've been a slide in the movie theater, but you know what? I always go back to a great event begets great events. That has been my recipe, but I will try every which way to make our online presence practical and efficient.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be irresponsible if I didn't.
Yes.
but I know that the customer service element is the highest level of securing your future.
I love that.
I mean, you can almost consider customer service being marketing.
Oh, absolutely.
Because your ROI on your customer service, because you're not going to go to the restaurant if the 2 times you went there twice and both times the waiter or waitress was a real tool.
Real piece of work.
You're not going to go back there for a 3rd time. First time, okay, maybe it was a fluke. 2nd time, the same thing. Done. Your marketing was just negative.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, your word of mouth just went from, oh, I'm going to try it again, to like never going back. So customer service, honestly, I think is the unspoken marketing out there. I mean, obviously, well, shouldn't say unspoken, because there's a lot of talking in customer service.
Well, if any of your listeners are grabbing nuggets here, it should be that your customer relations are intentional. Don't take it for granted.
I'm I'm going to quote you on that, just so you know. I like it.
There you go.
It is true. Is there anything that you want to add about customer service or anything that we didn't touch on that you're like, oh, people need to know this?
Well, I don't know. I think if you're in this for the long haul, that you should be consistent.
Yes.
That's probably my last nugget is you can't waffle. You can't be all over the place. The people that work for you, what you do on Tuesday should be what you do on Thursday, which is what you do on Sunday. And those that are counting on you, your reputation precedes you, live up to it. I always go back to the word, be honorable. What they say the golden rule is, what you learned in kindergarten?
Mm-hmm.
Treat others the way you would like to be treated. You could apply that in every relationship. Every relationship. It's no different. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean the phone is going to ring or that it's going to ring a second time. Leave people feeling better for having dealt with you.
That's awesome.
I'd agree 100%.
So when are you starting your motivational speaking tour?
I have been known to take the stage a few times.
I like it. This is great.
I would say we all left motivated, not this past Midwest DJs Live, but the one before that when you were up on the stage. I was left motivated after hearing you. I'd vouch.
Well, you're kind. I appreciate your friendship, and that's very sweet of you. I will tell your viewers or listeners the same recommendation. There's a book that I read. It came out a few years ago called The Power of Habit. And it was very meaningful to me. The author is Charles Duhigg. And the idea is that we are creatures of habit. Everything we do, consciously and unconsciously, you are the sum of all of your experiences. And the real trick is to be introspective and honest with yourself and identify what those habits are. Some are killing you, and some are actually helping you. The obvious ones, brushing your teeth, taking vitamins, you're aware of, but not every habit you are connected to. And when you slow yourself down, I talk often about being proactive and not letting life bite you in the ass and being a victim, but really taking control of your circumstances. That's another topic for another day. But I'm a big believer in handling yourself.
Another quote.
Handle yourself. I like it. Cool. You have been seriously so fun to talk to. I love everything you said.
Yay.
I'm going to make 1,000 quotes for Instagram, put on some t-shirts, cut you in.
Top dog, everybody.
Yes.
He's the t-shirt king too.
Oh, for real?
He presented in his presentation. He had some t-shirts that he makes for his employees and other stuff like that. And
really?
I've been known to rock a sharp suit, but have a t-shirt underneath it.
I respect you for that. That's kind of like a 90s thing, isn't it? 90s are coming back.
I know that I've often been, oh, you got that from Miami Vice. But no, I'm not wearing.
Coolest show ever.
I'm not wearing anything too flamboyant. I'm just rocking my own style, what I feel good about. When you feel good about what you're wearing, it permeates everything, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
I feel really good in my sweatpants, though. I gotta be honest.
That's what's up.
Sweatpants and sneakers.
There you go.
Yeah, Chris and I. Well, we have a business meeting in the morning. This morning we did, and I totally packed different clothes to wear after because I'm like, I can't wear this all day, but I feel like I need to dress up. I don't know. Everybody else is like polos and dress pants.
And I'm the only one who shows up in shorts and a t-shirt.
I respect that.
But Chris, that's you, right?
Right?
You got to be authentic.
All right, so that's why you need to send us some t-shirts. Because yes, we'll wear them. No shame in that.
Right.
Cool. Thanks,
Love it.
Howard.
Well,
I
yeah, thanks
appreciate
again,
it.
Howard.
It has been a pleasure. I feel like I got to say a few things. It helps my own karma when I know I'm paying it forward.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely. And our listeners are from like every genre of, entrepreneurship that you can imagine. So again, even if you guys aren't DJs or if you're not in that industry, it's okay because what Howard just said can be applied to every type of industry. So listen to it again if you need to, but think about what he said because there's so many awesome nuggets of info in here.
Hells to the yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Howard.
Thanks again.
You guys enjoy what's left of this great day.
Absolutely.
For sure. Thanks.